What's going on, everyone? Moose here, Airguns of Michigan, and today I want to talk about prepping for hunting your own land. Now, this is not going to apply to everybody. It doesn't necessarily 100% apply to me necessarily, but kind of, and we'll get to that. So if you are prepping and you own property and you have squirrels, rabbits, woodchucks, deer, bear, elk, I mean, whatever kind of animal you have in your area, my advice is leave them alone. Now, people are going to be screaming and they're going to be in an uproar and they're going to be like, but it's my land and I bought land potentially and exclusively to hunt on. Well, I get it. But unless you have a very large population of one or the other, I had something in my hat, whether it was a spider, a bug, or something, but I had something in my hat. All right, back to it. So if I freak out again, it's because that little sucker's still in my hat. So where I live on a dead end road where we have about 12 to 14 houses, and we have a load of rabbits and squirrels. An absolute treasure trove of them. I don't personally shoot my rabbits or my squirrels because if I ever came into a situation where I needed to get some meat, I utilize those animals at that point. So when I go out small game hunting, I travel away from my home. These squirrels and bunnies don't get any pressure. As a matter of fact, we feed them intentionally to gain a population. We have just an absolute boatload of them. Now, is it enough to sustain my entire neighborhood for a month? No, but in a pinch, it could certainly help with adding protein if need be. If there was a meat shortage like last year or things like that, it could definitely be utilized towards that. So, my suggestion in prepping is to, unless you're very good at managing your wildlife, not focus necessarily on taking your own game off your property, but allowing it to thrive. Feed it so that the deer come into your yard. They're used to being fed there. They're not going to know of a natural disaster or a time that all of a sudden you have to be prepped, or you're going to execute your prepping plan. So for them, they don't know any different, right? They're just out wandering around and eating whatever you put out for them. I try to keep that in mind when I'm, because believe me, sometimes it's very difficult when I'm sitting out on my porch and, and I'm plinking cans or whatnot, and here comes a squirrel running around or a chipmunk, and I'm like, man, it's nice to whap one of these little suckers and fry them up. But I try to keep that for the woods, away from my home, things like that. Keep in mind that, if a situation arises where taking to the woods is a way to gain protein for your family, remember there's a lot of other families in the area and everybody's going to take to the woods. So all those little spots that you think are like nobody ever goes there, they're going to be full, deer hunting included. So like I said, it's a great way to ensure that you at least have a little bit of protein, and we're talking about people that don't raise chickens or rabbits, things like that. Certainly raising your own chickens or your own rabbits is ideal, because, it's it's really a constant flow of food, especially if you've got a good amount of chickens, or even rabbits for that matter. But chickens can supply meat as well as eggs. You know, you have a lot of different options when it comes to chickens. So, you know, just something to keep in mind for when you decide that, you know, that little squirrel running across your tree is irritating the heck out of you, and you want to take one of those squirrels away from the population. Let them continue to breed, let them continue to do what they do. And like I said, this is only going to apply to people that where obviously it's applicable. But so with that being said, till next time, I'm Moose. This is Airguns of Michigan. Be good to each other, and God bless.